Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Hi, everyone. The Truth and Revelations podcast. We are number 8 podcast. How fantastic.
Woo, 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 woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Favorite number.
Yeah. Oh, 7 was mine when you were on last week.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, so we've got Andy back again because there's too much to talk about, and actually we won't cover it today either. But he's such a knowledgeable guy, and I'm so excited that he's come back again. And of course, we've got the lovely Paula Fern, our wonderful co-host. And yeah, so get straight into it. Today, we're going to be topical again. I want to touch on today the aftermath of the floods in Valencia in Spain. So, of course, that happened just 2.5, 3 weeks ago now. And, it's quite poignant. What's that got to do with truth and revelations, guys? Well, so if you dig a little deeper, which we always do, don't we? You will find that in Valencia, in Spain, but particularly around that area, they had over 80 dams removed in the last 2 to 3 years. It might be even less than that time scale, but that's a factor to think about. Also, a factor to think about. A week prior to those floods, you will have seen the skies covered, geoengineering, flights, and some of you might not know about what that's all about. The chemtrails, as we call them. We'll go into that a little bit later, why that is not a good thing and why geoengineering is not a good thing. And so you can think what you like, but the facts are here. 260 people are dead around Valencia. It's absolutely tragic. The most tragic thing about this is that NATO is based in Valencia, or one of them is based in Valencia, with over 1,600 people in NATO. Not one of those were ordered to go and help out. So they did not go and help. The government did not go and help out within those first 36 hours. They were left to die. Why, Andy?
That's a big one, Andy.
Yeah, it's
It's
absolutely
heavy. It's so heavy.
Mm.
it is.
So
It,
sad.
it is, and I don't like looking at the coverage from it either because it completely devastated the land there. But just to put things in context for what people will might not understand about geoengineering. I know personally I've talked to friends and said, do you realize that, the clouds are sprayed with aluminum and beryllium and different chemicals, and they just laugh at you. But the fact of the matter is, it's been documented since,
Mhm.
probably the last 80 years, to be fair. Um,
Yeah.
some of the wars have been used, they've used weather modification. I think there's a clip on YouTube where he was the Top Gear presenter, Clarkson, called Jeremy Clarkson, is at NASA. NASA bought up this land within something like a 20-mile radius because they were going to set up the experiment plant to do weather modification and experiment. And there's a video still on YouTube to this day where they pump out these clouds, it goes up, and he said, we're in the middle of the desert here. He said, within 10 minutes, it'll be raining. And it started raining. So, but I set up a channel on Telegram, and it's not for subscribers or anything, it's just to document anything to do with weather modification and geoengineering. And it's basically, if you just search in Telegram and put weather, I'll probably come up. I usually call myself Truth Shepherd and then whatever after. So it's weather, or it's 9/11, or it's Nikola Tesla. And so I've created a library to sort of document all this. And some of them have been speeches in the UN. There's government documentation on weather engineering and modification and uh, stratospheric aerosol injection, some random stuff coming out. But
Mm.
this is what it's real. And if you look at the sky, the easiest way to describe it to someone is if you look in the sky and you see an aeroplane go over and the trail behind it disappears quite rapidly, that's a contrail. So that's what airplanes used to do that we know of. The chemtrail is one where it just doesn't disappear and then it gradually disperses. Now, there's other technologies like HARP that make it disperse even further, but it's not a conspiracy. So I think the point is, was this manufactured or was there someone else to blame? Or, either way you look at it, the world we live in now is not a nice place. And people need to be open to listen to other people's views and pinpoint what's going wrong, because there was actually a ship caught off that sea in Valencia a few days before, and it was like, the only way I can describe it is I don't even know what it is, but it looked like an energy plant. It was just coils and like an energy sort of thing. So only God knows what happened, and a few other evil people. But
What's interesting with what you said, Andy, is all this is documented, and I'm laughed at when I talk about the planes and what's going on above our heads, and even my kids take everything that I say with a pinch of salt. I've got two teenagers, two younger ones that but my teenagers are like, "Oh, look, Mum, chemtrails." I'm like, "But they are," and but you can find the documented evidence of this being a real thing, and it's not to be laughed at, because why have we got that technology in the first place? Why is it being implemented in the way that it is? And why are we giving money to, oh God, I'm getting on a right rant now, but why are we giving money to things that are trying to counteract what's happening with global warming, with the extreme weathers, with all of that? Why are we constantly being asked to contribute to those causes, which of course it's our planet, we want to look after our planet, but it's you've got to look at all the evidence before you are committing to a certain path,
Well, it's used as it can be used as weaponry from other countries, but more. If you look at the main topic, Bill Gates has said it. So unless someone of authority says something, nobody believes it. So Bill Gates has said to combat climate change, he wants to spray the clouds with aluminum, which makes a bit of sense in theory, that aluminum reflects. He wants to reflect the sun, block out the sun to stop the effects of global warming. So whatever anyone says, that is fact, that Bill Gates, that's what he's pushing. That's what his agenda is, to help climate change. Whether you believe in climate change, it was global warming, then that didn't really work out because it was getting a bit colder, so they changed it to climate change. But this is what there is an agenda behind it, and it's not hidden. It's not.
But also, going back to the reason why, just something else I came across is that Valencia, or at least that region, usually agriculture, and they provide. Well, I don't know how true this is, but 50% of our fruits in the UK.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
How true that is, I don't know. But I know that they provide a lot. We know about Valencia oranges and all of this. But, our fresh fruits, which provide vitamin C, and they have vitamin D in them as well. And what protects our immune system, guys? Vitamin C and vitamin D. Now, some people might think that's a far-fetched reality, but just an observation. Just take it in. Just keep it in here. And, there's a lot to talk about on climate change, but I think that's enough, isn't it, to be talking about for now. But we will go back to it for sure, because it's very, very important. Everything we talk about is all part of the mosaic and the jigsaw put together of our research. So the next, do you know, I'm so excited about this, and I have not stopped smiling for 10 days. Is it 10 days since the USA elections? And I woke up on a Wednesday morning to find that Trump had been elected. I can't stop smiling. And
Me
but now
too.
we're well in a week, and there's a lot happened in that week. And so I want to know, well, the aftermath of Trump being elected. Obviously, we talked about last week, didn't we, Paula? Sorry, 2 weeks ago, about you know that people are they're so divided, and people are getting upset again. But 2 weeks on, we are it's calming down, but people are watching what's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what do you think about that, Paul? All the things that are happening with Kennedy, my hero. And yeah.
I think in terms of people's apprehension and fear, and um, people are terrified of what might come from the future based on inaccurate, and that's not an opinion. It's actually inaccurate what is fed through our TV box. It's not an accurate
The media.
representation of anything that we ever see, whatever that subject might be. And I think that fear is starting to level out now. And like you said, people are watching. And for me, it's only been 2 weeks. There's been no actions that have happened that have caused me any concern at all. If anything, quite the
It's
opposite.
exciting.
I feel reassured, even more so.
Mm.
Which is interesting, and people should go ahead and watch what happens, and they should make note of, actually, don't be afraid if in a year's time you think I was wrong, because no one will judge. No one that's a decent person would ever judge you for that. If you
No.
if you think back and think, oh my God, I was so scared of this happening and that happening, and it turns out it's actually turned into a better world now. Don't
Yes.
be as scared to kind of
Mm.
just think those thoughts. It's okay, and we've got you, and it's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's going to start trickling in. Andy,
Yeah,
what are your
definitely.
thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, Andy.
There's so much to cover on this. It's ridiculous, but I wasn't worried before the elections. I thought, and I said to Lindsay, it's going to be a landslide, more than it actually was. But they won the House, they won the Senate, they won the popular vote, and they got full control basically. Um, People, I hope, will understand this in years to come. But if that didn't happen, we were all doomed, to be fair,
Yeah.
because there would have been war after war. The day after that, there would have been war instigated and all sorts of things. Now, people say they label Trump, a narcissist, a racist, this, that, and the other. Um, they just can't give me any support to that statement at all. But you look at it, I posted a particular picture on Facebook, and it was when he was sworn in. There was two white people. One was a lady there, don't know her name. The other one was Donald Trump. The rest was, I don't know where they were from, but I presume they were part of his team. I don't know, but they were praying. Some of them were pastors. They were praying to put the hands of God on him. And this is, again, we can go back 2,000 years, identical Jehu, King Jehu, was identical to what happened 2,000 years ago. Now, I've just got reference to this as well. Tom Zimmer, who there is footage of him on YouTube, predicted in 1983 that Trump would be used by God and he would put the hands of God on Trump. This was going back to 1983.
Wow.
Kim Clement, who was a prophetic speaker, who sadly now died, is absolutely amazing. He predicted Trump will be in for 2 terms. This is in 2010. Trump hadn't even suggested he was running.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So he said, I will put Donald Trump in power, basically, before he even decided to even run. He
Wow.
said they will try to put a witch in the White House. Well, that was Hillary Clinton and Kamala.
Yeah.
He said that he will be impeached twice, not once, twice. He's been impeached twice.
And
He
he
will
has.
be an assassination attempt on a Saturday night. It was assassination attempt was on a Saturday night. This is not just one. There was a guy 4 months before that predicted he would pierce his right ear. Right? I don't, and this is where I just get shivers thinking about it. Is how can so many people predict these things?
Yeah.
And there's got to be some truth to it. Trump is not the perfect person, right? Pains me to
No,
say
nobody
it.
is.
Pains me to say it, but he isn't. Trump once said that I was in the big club one time. But if you think about it, if you have to understand how that big club, that dark side of things, how that operates, you have to be in it. He's not
Yeah.
he's not been to
Yeah.
Epstein's Island. Is the pictures with Epstein? Of course there is, because he was a billionaire or a
Yeah.
millionaire at the time. He's in them circles. He had to
Yeah.
understand how that dark, evil
Yeah.
entity, that cult worked. Um, but you just look at his last 4 years. He didn't go to war within 4 years.
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah.
maybe I'm obsessed with it. I don't know, but I can't get my head round the economic. He broke the NASDAQ records. He signed the Abraham Accord in the Middle East. So there was peace. And what we got now, we've got just complete utter destruction and mayhem. So I can't understand, apart from, people saying, oh, he's a racist. And that comment he said about the woman one time about using the P word, oh, I'll grab her P. I think every bloke on this planet has probably said something derogatory in locker room talk.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you going to judge the man? Biblically,
Yeah.
God has chosen people that are
Yeah.
not necessarily good people, but
Yeah.
he
Well, they've
used
been
them
on the
for a
journey.
purpose.
Like you said, they have to go on
Yeah,
the journey
you have to
to get
learn.
to where they are.
You
Yeah.
know,
They're
have
not
I
going to
got?
be. They're not. And the thing is, with that example that you've just given as well, I know plenty of men that have said things like that.
Hmm,
And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I am like, oh my God, cast you out. I am
yeah,
never going to speak to you again. Do not come near me or my
yeah,
family. It's like, I don't like what you just said.
yeah.
Don't do it again
And it's
because
how
I'm
you
not
react
impressed.
to that, isn't it?
And yeah,
Paula,
Can I
if I
just say,
said I'm not
women are
bothered,
worse. Women are
women
worse.
can be, yeah.
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 But I'll tell you what I'm very excited about with what's happening with him is he's sort of like hinted that he's going to get rid of income tax in some way, shape, or form, which is massive,
It's huge.
massive. I
Huge.
think he'll bring the gold standard back. So I think gold will, currently, and we never touched on monetary,
Yes.
but the
Go
one
is
thing you have to read is how it started, and that's the creature of Jekyll Island, right? That,
wow.
do you not know the story, Jackie?
No?
I
About
don't
money? Do you not know Paula?
know.
And the Titanic, and who sank on the Titanic? The three, four families that were opposed to the Federal Reserve,
Yeah, I've heard a little bit.
they sank on the Titanic. The one that wanted the Federal Reserve, like your Rockefellers of the world, the oil barons, they didn't go on that. They cancelled the day before, and then the
Yeah,
Titanic happened, which
Yeah.
then ushered in the Federal Reserve, and that is all about it. They created a plan on Jekyll Island, and they brought in the Federal Reserve on December 23rd, when all the government was shut down. They brought in that law of the Federal Reserve. They brought that in on the 23rd of December, and that is the demise of the monetary system. That then allowed, and when Nixon took us off the gold standard, took the US off
Yeah.
the gold standard, we were then free to print money. And that's the monetary system. And I think that is a good thing. Income tax didn't exist years ago.
Yeah.
I can't give you the exact date, but we're just raped and pillaged
see,
from
I
day
We're
one.
understand.
enslaved, I call it. We're
Yeah.
enslaved in this matrix. That we need to have choices. Where do
Mm,
we want to be in that? But we don't from birth, do we?
Well,
no.
I understand from the income tax point of view that that was introduced after World War One to help bring income back into our country
Mm,
because there was such a negative effect on our economy because we'd been at war, and they never shut it down. It wasn't meant to be a permanent fixture.
No,
it's just continued to be because it's obviously very convenient for them to take our hand.
And now you've got to question the wars, War One, World War Two. You've got to question them.
It's everything.
Is that the same thing? Because this, to me, we're in war. We've been in war. World War Three, a spiritual war, they call it, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it. We've been in war, and we're on the right side, which is just so exciting. I do want to, and I keep mentioning him because he is the Messiah, Robert Kennedy. Can we talk about him again, please?
We need to like put his image up now and then and just see Jackie go, ooh.
But he's just such an amazing guy. I don't know if you know his background, Andy. Obviously, you know that he was the nephew of J.F. Kennedy, who got shot in 1963. I know that because that was the year of my birth. And but his mission in life is for this exact time to be here to make these changes. Everything that happened to him was, what was it? It was no coincidence. You know, and he's done a PhD in political corruption. Do you know more about Robert Kennedy Jr. That you can tell us, Andy?
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about weather before because he stated that we're going to take out chemicals and pesticides out of the food, and then he said environment. So
environment.
So when he said environment, I thought, is that cloud seeding? Whichever way you look at it, that, you know, with being in the Kennedy family, the knowledge he's got. I subscribe to his Children's Health Defense. That's his website. So I literally get his emails through. There's one every day, but he's fighting the war on them, the children, which if you look at how it started, there was probably 3 in the lifetime in the 70s or whatever, and now it's like probably 33. But he's such an advocate for health. I mean, I don't even know how old he is, but he's got a better body than I have, and I'm a lot younger than him. So he's doing all right. He's
Jackie knows. Jackie
knows.
I
know you've probably got brilliant.
I bet all her passwords.
Jackie Kennedy.
I bet all her passwords are his date of birth. I'm going to check now.
Jackie and Bobby, 1, 2, 3. But yeah, I think he's really going to rattle the cage because I think he, you know, ultimately, if you look at who he is and JFK, he's going to want everything declassified. He must know, but he's going to want things declassifying. He's going to completely shake up the medical authorities, whether it's the AMA, the FDA, the World Health Organization. I think he's just going to absolutely go to town. And I think I saw something this morning of Fauci. I've not properly listened to it, but I think there's got to be. I hope there's tribunals because the Nuremberg Code that happened after the war. I think this is Nuremberg 2 coming because people have to be held accountable. People have to be.
I've heard that is happening. Actually, I have heard that is going to happen. There are certain countries. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's Norway that are going down that route because of the vaccine. And Australia, in Perth, there's an MP or the equivalent of an MP there who is gunning to take the big pharma because of the vaccine for COVID.
Well, the share prices have dropped yesterday as well. The share prices have really.
Oh, really?
Well, no, and that's since Bobby was announced in his position. Because they know that, or people are thinking, oh, we might have a problem here. So
it's gonna be explosive, and
yeah,
we know things that we know to be fact, but there's a lot of people that don't. And I talk about this, it seems like every episode, because I am concerned about the people that are going to be sort of thrown in at the deep end with all of this stuff. So and I believe that we've had little bits and pieces trickled out to us, especially about Big Pharma. There's the stuff on Netflix that is about the pharmaceutical rise of the, I can't remember the name of the drug, but it was how it became.
Is it fentanyl? Is it
I
fentanyl?
think so, yeah. And
Yeah.
it was how
Yes,
it
I think I've
became
seen that. Yeah.
people going to pharmacies and selling it, and you've got to get this many people on this drug and you get a bonus.
Well,
I mean,
it's bad in America now.
yeah,
Fentanyl.
lots of people have seen that,
Yeah.
but they don't necessarily think it's as real as it is. And it was. It's pretty much, well, it's pretty much a documentary, in my opinion. And that is how the whole of the pharmacy industry is built, you know. And we've had those little trickles come out, and I think now it's going to just go woof, and we've got to be like mindful of those people that are going to be like, holy.
And that's why we set up Root Connections. We're calling it Root Connections now, Andy. We're dropping the word network. Not that it isn't a network, but we are opening wide, not just for wellbeing providers, but for people who are interested, you know, who want to know what to do now. So the whole point of Root Connections is that there is somewhere where you can go that you can find out everything that to help you. So yeah.
Another thing. Go on, sorry. Another thing. What?
Yeah, no, that was it really. Just that, you know, there's so much you can do. You know, just go on our website www.therootconnections.co.uk, and you'll find all the different networks, our hosts, and all the different things we're going to do. But while we're on topic, I want to bring in that we are bringing in a whole project for schools, holistic health for schools. So that is something I'm so passionate about, is we need to be teaching our kids about holistic health from birth, and we need to be reteaching their parents. And obviously we're only small at the moment, you know, but you know, we just need to get that message out in any way we can, and affordable.
Yeah, I think that's great, Jackie. I think you're doing, you know, you're on the right path, and you've been on that right path for a long time. The one thing to sort of like round this up, really, I was speaking to somebody the other day, and they've got a close friend that's developed these products, and I'll have to introduce you actually, another introduction. They are female hygiene products. So what that covers, I don't know, you know, but it's the battling with the authorities, because, you know, you've got big brands, very big brands that would object to that. The other one is,
and they make a lot of money.
Well, there's another one where the challenge is,
yeah, we can use the word Tampax. We can use that word because I'm passionate about this. Is that they've discovered what is in Tampax that you are literally putting inside your body.
Yeah,
you know,
but it's
wipes, for example.
Yeah. But why can't we have the opportunity to, like? There's you've heard of a therapy called havening? Have you heard of havening?
No.
No.
Paul McKenna's an advocate of it, and we went meeting the people. It's a guy from the States now, that's developed it, and he's basically worked on people that were traumatized from 9/11. They couldn't speak about 9/11 whatsoever. They tried havening with 2 goals of havening. They were able to go on TV programs and talk about their experience, almost like it was not their experience. They were talking about a friend's experience.
Wow.
This is called havening. I can send you some details, but the point is, if something works, or it's what you want to, the road you want to go down, it should be available, and it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be battling with anyone on this. It's like if I got the big C and I want to try alternative therapies, that's my right. But
Yes.
you're ostracized by the pharmaceutical industry, by the doctors, by this,
Yeah.
that, the, and that's just to. I'm trying to round it off for what we were just talking about. Trump
Yeah.
introduced the right to try.
Yes.
So he basically said, you've got the right to try whatever
Yeah.
you feel is right for you. And I think
Yeah.
that's where we need to be at, really. Like we were
Yeah.
talking about before, if we discussed these things, but we don't get a chance to discuss them.
Yeah.
If you mentioned that online, you
Yeah.
got kicked off. So it's
Yeah.
like what? So I think a big topic, a massive topic is censorship. And
Yes.
until that's removed, we're not going to win. We're not going to
No.
win because there's too much
No.
money being thrown at it. So
Yeah.
censorship is a massive topic.
But
Well,
even having these topics amongst our friends, obviously, people, we know who we can talk to about these things, which is great. But
Yeah,
we talk about 3D, 4D, 5D worlds, which, a lot of people don't know what that is. But, 3D is the world that we live in, where you're not allowed to have these conversations. I'm not allowed to bring, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about religion. Let's not talk about politics. Let's not talk about COVID. Let's not talk about this. I mean, that is ridiculous that we can't talk about it
yeah,
because, every child should know about politics, at least the basics.
yes.
Every child should know about holistic health, at least the basics, because then it's just, there, you're knowing about it. That's your life. Just as I know about holistic health because I grew up on a farm. My mum didn't know it as holistic health. It's just the
yeah,
way they
yeah.
lived. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jackie,
It's a way of life.
I'm really worried about the education system is one topic we've not really gone into, but I'm really worried about the educational system. I've got teachers surrounding me. I always have for some reason. I must be attracted to teachers, but um, it's weird because like my daughter, she goes to a Catholic school, and between three teachers, they haven't got a clue what's going on because one of them's telling them about the Big Bang, one of them's telling them that God is the creator, and the other one's telling them that they've evolved from monkeys. And I'm like, what's going on here? You know, what can
Confused.
where are you going to win? So I think the
Yeah.
educational system,
Yeah.
it's funny because when I left school, um, I wasn't going to achieve any grades before I left school anyway because I was already pre-labeled in that category that I was going to fail. And I've got five friends. You probably know this, Jackie, but I've got five friends. One of them is Stephen Robinson that runs It's Mental,
Yeah.
and my five friends, we still stick together to this day. And all of us were told you will do nothing. You'll fail.
And look at you now,
I know. Wow.
But it. I
high
feel,
achievers.
I feel sorry for people that are like the underdogs at school now because there's a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some people fail, some people succeed and stuff, but it's I think it needs overhauling. The education system, the monetary system, the
The
religious
whole system. Let's
whole
face
system.
it.
See, don't forget
So
though as
gone, hasn't it?
well. What I would say though as well, the education system for those underachievers, for those people, I've got
Yeah.
friends that I went to school with, and it was usually the clowns of the class. It was usually the people that had like a bit more of a laugh than it like Andy, people that want more of a laugh than actually learning. But then most of those people that I knew at that time have gone on to own their own businesses, or they've gone on to, as adults, go back to education because they,
Yeah.
and it's not just the education factor that fails them in some ways, it's generational in a lot of
Yes.
ways. And that's not just it either. There's so many factors. But if you
Yeah, yeah,
think about the background that they might have, or the where they go home to, and all the different the number of siblings they might have. I've got four kids, so bloody hell, I hope mine are all right. But there's lots of different factors to look
yeah,
at, because if they're not getting, and that but that then I'm a root cause kind of person. That's what I look for. That's down to their education. So it's not just now that the education system's failing us. It's been happening for generations because
generations. But it
Yeah.
is changing. I know it's changing. And what I want to finish on is that Pluto is coming into Aquarius in the next 2 weeks. In fact, next week, I think. And what does that mean exactly? It has never happened in 2,000 years. What happened 2,000 years ago, Andy? You were there. It was one of your lives.
Yeah, one of your lives. Yeah.
It is the we've not even talked about that, the stars and stuff. It's there's a
the
lot of
big unrest 2,000 years ago, a massive kind of revolution of sort, and a massive change in the way the world was 2,000 years ago, and that is insane. So no such thing as a coincidence.
No, I like that, Jackie. I love it.
Nothing is coincidence.
Nothing.
Thank you so much for both of you being here. It's been incredible. Andy, we will be having you on several times in the future. There's lots more to come from here, but thank you so much.
Yeah. And please put all your links to all your channels, those books, everything, because people are going to be interested. People need to do their own research and make their own minds up. You don't have to listen to us, but at least take some seeds and start doing your own research. And please, like Paula said, subscribe. Just put comments. What do you want to hear about? And we'll get the guests in. And it's been fantastic, Andy. Brilliant.
Amazing.
It's been
Thank
great,
you, guys.
You get up, clear them leaves up, Jackie. Clear them leaves up.
Clear those leaves.
I've just got a lie back in my leaves. Can you not hear the crunching?
Brilliant.
See you, everyone.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.